Welcome back to Whilton Mill for our continuing coverage of the UK Plate event. The next race up is for Tyro Juniors, who will be sharing the track with Junior Pro Karts. The grid positions for Tyro Junior on screen now, Jake.
Harvey Williams, George Townsend, Jack Stimson and Oliver Gibson will start off the lead from the front. Ryan Sayers and Dan Parsons, then Maddox Chan, Zachary Mead, Danny Hall and Sam Aston will round out the top 10 for this Tyro Junior final. And it's going to be an interesting one for the drivers further back. Oliver Hall, Finley Marshall, Max Mannion and Charlie Brooks hoping to make up some progress from the start. But with this being Tyro Junior, it's going to be very competitive. Harvey Williams going to be going off pole position all the way from Hagley. Looks like it could be a competitive start for the front, and off we go to the first corner, through Crook, through Oblivion and up towards Fine Lady. And already it looks like a pretty clean start.
That's Townsend out front, Jake. Look at that already. He went round the outside through turn one. He's already got 3 or 4 kart lengths going through Christmas corner.
Stimson in behind Dan Parsons as they battle away from 4th position downwards, looking for a little bit of clear track as they make their way towards Ashby. Down to the inside, 2 or 3 drivers going for it, a little bit of contact. They've just about got away with that. You don't want to push yourself too hard on the opening lap. You spread yourself too thin on the tyre management. So Harvey Williams in 2nd place now in front of Parsons, and then it is Stimson. Still running very well over the sharp end. Everybody just keeping themselves to themselves on the opening lap. You can't win the race on lap 1, but you can definitely lose it.
Yeah, further back, we've got Max Mannion, Charlie Brooks and Oliver Hall at the back of the field. They're in the Junior Pro Karts. Looks like we've lost the Junior Pro Kart already. Great pictures as they come through that final turn. George Townsend pictures.
Yeah, you can see just how much standing water there is on those excess curbs on the outside. But this is not going to be that electrifying kind of battle where you've got drivers literally swapping places left, right and centre. These guys have teamed up. You've got Hall, Sayers and Mead, and they've figured out, right, well, the top 4 are getting away. So we cannot afford to let them pull too far clear. We've got to work together in unison to try and get this move further forward. We've got to try and get ourselves back into contention to not let the top 4 pull clear.
Harvey Williams getting closer to George Townsend. He was half a second, 0.580 as he went through the line at the end of the last lap. He's closer now as they go through the line.
Oh, is that going to be? Is that Mead going to try and get the run there on Ryan Sayers through the final turn? He had to bail out of it in the end, but he was certainly getting hungry for it. As through they go again, plenty of curve use as you can see. And look at the back of the train. That's Sam Aston, fancying his chances to work his way further forward rather rapidly. He's not quite been able to get the D done, but there is the move as Finley Marshall has got a technical flag in kart 75, so that's down at the back.
Yeah, I think that's in the junior, it must be one of the juniors because he's not on screen at the moment.
Probably the technical flag for the transponder maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So he's out of it. This is a battle for 5th in the Tyro Mini class.
Ooh,
it's close.
Gibson going for a very brave lunge there on the inside line. That's as late as you like into Ozier's. Now, whether or not that's going to have completed or not is unclear, but Harvey Williams up at the front, trying to close in on George Townsend. There is the technical defect flag once again for Finley, but I'm afraid he's not going to be able to take any further part, and Zachary Mead did get that move completed on Ryan Sayers. That was very brave, as here for the lead goes Harvey Williams, chops up the inside line, and that's a perfect overtake on George Townsend. So Williams hits the front then as they come out of Ashby. This is now going to be a swap of roles. Instead of being the hunter, now Harvey Williams is going to be the hunted, and has got to try and place the kart in the first few laps to try and make sure that Townsend isn't going to have a decent response.
Yeah, Townsend with the 1 plate on his kart. Now, we're not sure what championship he's won, whether it was this championship last year, I'm assuming it was. But he's got the 1 plate on his kart for a reason, and that is because he is extremely fast. Here's the battle for 3rd and 4th, Parsons and Stimson going through the line.
And the fastest lap of the race coming in from Jack Stimson, so 48.209. Nobody's really able to get close to that, and as a result, Stimson is going to get the run here on Parsons. But again, how much do you want to battle with Dan Parsons, and how much do you want to use that speed, use the draft, tag in behind him and try and close up on Williams and Townsend up at the front? There's only 1.5 seconds back from the race leader, so if you can utilise this, if you can actually build on this speed and go with Dan Parsons, you can basically double time, work up close behind Williams and Townsend, and the win is still on.
Again, battle for 5th. We join it from the drone. Great pictures going down the back straight into the boot. This is the ankle. You can see why it's a boot. Ankle, toe, and then this is the heel going through the final turn. That battle for 5th place again. It's the 99 kart that leads that. Danny Hall as they go through the line.
Zachary Mead all over the back of him though, looking for the chance to get through at Oblivion. Up towards Emmanuel's bank. Passing, they go through. Fine Lady and into Christmas. No overtaking moves yet there. The problem is, you don't want to go too ugly early, as they used to say in the Birmingham nightclubs back in the day. You've got to try and pitch the moment. You've got to look for where the overtaking move is on, and you've got to tidy up that move at the exit of it.
Is that the powerhouse in Birmingham you're talking about that I worked at, Jake?
Quite possibly. So through they go. Up to the inside, Zachary Mead. You can see Danny Hall is starting to get the back end a little bit tail happy. That's when you start over-defending. That's when you start over-correcting as well. And that's when Zachary Mead essentially has his rival on the ropes. Here we go. George Townsend has not given up hope. He's managed to get back past Harvey Williams. In the same moment, Stimson has been able to get past Dan Parsons. So a change for the lead, a change for third.
Fantastic racing. This battle for the lead here. Townsend and Williams. Williams started pole in P2 at the moment, but he'll want to turn that back in to a lead at some point as they come through the right-hander and then down through to the left-hander and then down to the hairpin.
Into Wilkins, then up towards Oziers. You can see it's 2x2 hurrah at the moment between Townsend and Williams, then Stimson and Parsons, then Hall and Mead. The only problem is they've got Sayers, Gibson and Aston on their tail, and they all want a piece of fifth position if they can grab it. Time continues to tick down. Max Mannion still leading the junior category ahead of Charlie Brooks. Oliver Hall no longer in the game. So still this battle raging as Townsend trying to stretch away from Harvey Williams. They go along Manuel's bank once again, and they're going to start to hit traffic. The first kart they will find is Charlie Brooks.
How you deal with traffic is how you win races, and this is a slower kart in front, one of the junior pro karts, and down the inside's the leader.
Oh!
Here comes Harvey Williams and takes advantage of the traffic. Fantastic move by Williams to get back into the lead.
That is a gorgeous sweeper of a move there from Harvey Williams. Just saw the opportunity, saw that Townsend was going to be offline, carried a little bit more momentum and said, right, I can get the lead back again. Pure conviction, pure focus into Ashby. And Harvey Williams snatches the lead in superb style. Now the roles are reversed again, because now they've got Max Mannion, although he is going to be on the straight at exactly the wrong moment for George Townsend, because there's no advantage gained essentially. So through they go again, and Williams has not only been able to take a beautiful move to get the lead, but he's actually caught Max Mannion in the right place to not lose the lead again himself.
Fastest laps come out for each driver as they go through the line. If you see a yellow bar in front of the time, that means that's the driver's fastest lap. The fastest lap of the race will pop up in blue quite clearly, but anything you see with a blue bar means that's the lap time for that lap.
Fifth place battle going through past Max Mannion in exactly the wrong moment, and guess who's been held up the worst? It's Sam Aston. He's dropped away from that quartet, but it was so close for the likes of Mead and Hall. As a result, Oliver Gibson has been able to pop his way past all of them, and up into fifth position he goes now. So Gibson has actually been able to come up with an absolute peach of an overtake.
Williams is getting away, Jake. Williams went through the line just over half a second ahead. He's just starting to get away. This is that battle for fifth place in the Tyro Mini class. So Oliver Gibson from Zach Mead it is, and these two are clear of the chasing Danny Hall, Ryan Sayers and Sam Aston.
This is all about momentum, isn't it? And Williams certainly has the momentum now. There is Townsend trying to stay with him. Stimson still in front of Dan Parsons. Gibson having worked his way very carefully to get himself in a fifth position there in front of Zachary Mead. But this is very tight. Here comes the chance now from Mead. He's going to dive into the boot, and there's contact. Somehow they both keep on the road and still facing the right direction. Here comes the chance now from Danny Hall. He goes in at the heel, takes it at the pit bend, and now Ryan Sayers is fancying his chances. But again, it all comes down to momentum. They go into the last lap, but how close was that between Gibson and Mead to disaster?
Yeah, absolutely, and unfortunately it was Zach Mead that lost out. He had his momentum slowed down and lost a place, and he's now down to seventh.
So Harvey Williams doing exactly what he needs to do, pulling out enough of the gap over Townsend. He knows it's not going to be more than about half a second total, but it's just pushing the kart in those final couple of laps that have given him that tiny bit of daylight, those 4 to 5 kart lengths that have made him the authority figure in this race now, out of the final turn and across the line. Harvey Williams is going to take the checkered flag. Deserved victory there in front of George Townsend. Read the race, read the situation perfectly. Stimson in third from Dan Parsons, and Oliver Gibson. A very smart and mature run from Gibson to grab that fifth position finish ahead of Danny Hall and Zachary Mead, who just lost out in the closing stages.
We'll have a look at the replay of that earlier incident there. So it was Zachary Mead on the 84 kart. 81 is Oliver Gibson. He's the man closest to us. Now, should Gibson see Mead? I think he should, to be honest. He's squeezed him. Mead's come off worse. Gibson's followed on and carried on. Hasn't cost him a place.
Now,
but,
do you argue that he was on the curb on the way in? He turned in very deep.
Well, I think he should have seen him, but anyway, we'll see what the officials have made of it. I think they're just going to call that a racing incident, frankly.
And Danny Hall was the beneficiary. He managed to get through into 6th position, and you're absolutely right, Alan. It's all square. Harvey Williams ahead of George Townsend, then Jack Stimson, Dan Parsons and Oliver Gibson. He maintains 5th position. Danny Hall is in P6 in front of Zachary Mead, who was very lucky to get away and still run into the top 10. Ryan Sayers in P8 in front of Sam Aston, and then Maddox Chan managing to run through in the Tyro Junior top 10. Max Mannion able to win the Junior Pro Kart class in front of Charlie Brooks just outside the top 10, so a good run from him. Back for more in just a few minutes.
Welcome back to Whilton Mill. The next race up is a new class for us. It's the Tillotson T4 class using a 4-stroke engine. And earlier I caught up with two guys that know all about it. Based in Ireland, just tell us how this class got off the ground. It's been going how long now?
We're officially up and running, I'd say 4 years. 4 years since 2019. 5 years now, it's gone fast. It was designed to create an affordable karting category to help people start in the sport, and it's really designed to make karting affordable and keep people racing and bring new people into the sport, particularly from corporate karting into racing, what we see here in Whilton Mill today. So it's been successful. It's grown into 25 countries around the world, and UK now is really taking shape, and it's becoming more and more popular every event.
Yeah, it's great success worldwide. So in terms of what we'll see today, what classes are we going to see today on track?
We have T4 junior and senior racing this weekend. So the juniors is from 12 to 16 years and seniors from 15 years plus. So the grids are really growing, and the traction and the work Andrew has done and the team in UK, it's growing fast, and it's getting bigger and bigger. It's exciting.
And Andrew, getting a kart class going anywhere in the world is difficult. You're obviously getting it going here in the UK in the last 5 years. What have been some of the issues you faced?
It's just getting drivers. Everybody's waiting to see how the class goes before they join. Now we're starting to get a decent grid together. People are starting to join from other categories. It's the affordable racing which is attractive to a lot of people.
And in the championship this season, it's going to be part of the UK kart series, obviously.
Yes.
Today we've mixed the grids because it's a one-off UK plate. So I think you've got 16 seniors and 8 juniors, something like
Correct.
that, on a split grid.
Yes.
And the engine's really reliable.
Engines are really reliable, and all the engines are exactly the same. So it's down to the driver. It isn't down to budgets, it's down to the driver. So yes, it's very competitive, and sometimes only half a second splits from the front of the grid to the back of the grid. So it is everybody's got a chance.
Everybody does have a chance, but preferably if they keep it facing the right way on the formation lap. 2 of them spinning off there in Christmas Corner. Grid positions then for the Tillotson T4 classes, juniors and seniors on track at the same time. We're going to concentrate on the seniors. We'll try and keep you up to date with what's going on in the junior race. This is my first look at Tillotson. Jake, have you seen them before?
Seen them, I've raced them before. I actually made my racing debut in this class at Tattershall last year. A couple more drivers coming off the road. Is that Kinloch again? Same here, yeah, so very greasy conditions. We've got Owen Roberts and Mike Coppin at the front from Ben Higginbotham and Chris Alcock. Then Spears, Tinker, Greening, Ortega Bruce, Jason Bradbury and James Townsend. Behind them, we've got Malk West and Zach Fletcher, then John Nuttall and Sam Broadbent, the 2 spinners, Richard Kinloch and Eddie Nuttall. Then the juniors, Martin Wright, Amelie Ackerts, Dan Hartley, Will Omar, and then it's Matthew Stevens, Thomas Harper, Brandon Edwards and Harry Ward. A very busy grid, split by the seniors and the juniors. What can Mike Coppin do? Let's see if he can go for it at the very start of the race. Tucks in behind Owen Roberts, and he's already going to try and charge his way through. A A fantastic form of racing this. A lot of the drivers in Tillotson T4 have been starting racing as a complete scratch. Some of them have actually come up from the world of Daytona D-Max and Club 100, as Mike Coppin has. He's lost out early, as through into second place has come Higginbotham. So Higginbotham moving his way forward. Chris Alcock trying to go for the move there in there as well, battling away with Mike Coppin, but Owen Roberts has the lead.
I don't see, there is a cart number 3 and cart number 4, Jake.
Yeah, it's Kinloch and Nuttall.
I don't see them in the timing for some reason.
Yeah, for some strange reason, a couple of the drivers are not showing up, but hopefully we'll try and keep up with it anyway. As up at the front end, Roberts has got Ben Higginbotham very much breathing down his neck. There goes Alistair Tinker through in the 64. And we've got John Nuttall trying to work his way forward. The juniors are coming through not that much slower than the seniors. Still keeping it fairly nicely mixed as James Townsend runs at the back of the queue. And now we've got 3 and 4, Kinloch and Nuttall. 47 mixing it through towards the tail end there as well. Not everybody with transponders by the look of it.
21 names on screen, 29 in the race, but even those drivers not in the timing we're looking at. Thomas Harper from Derby, so he won't be going much further.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the young junior driver, as Martin Wright leads that class at the moment in front of young Daniel Hartley and Amelie Ackett's. Will Omar, who was one of the drivers who I raced with at Tattershall last year, having a fantastic run there in the top 5. And then Matthew Stevens just ahead of Brandon Edwards and Harry Ward. Fabulous karts to race these. They give you such a great feeling of proper brutality behind the wheel. The back end kicks out, but once you hit that throttle, you nail it. Quarter pitch on the pedal gives you plenty enough to kill any wheel spin. You can get so much traction in these karts. I imagine it will be so much fun to race these karts at Whilton Mill. My only experience is the bumpy washing machine fest that is Tattershall. Such a tough race circuit to get right. Here comes Higginbotham trying to go for the move here on Owen Roberts into Christmas. They're both going to have just as much traction, and that's well defended by Roberts to hold it round the outside of Higginbotham. That's held them both up though, so now Coppin and Alcock have a chance.
Yeah, look at the way that's held them up, and a two-way battle's now suddenly a four-way battle. 3 of him nose to tail, with the man in 4th place, Chris Alcock.
Oh, what a move!
Oh yeah, great
into
move for the
Oziers.
lead, and keeps it as well on the exit. So Alcock there in 4th place. I did say a little bit of a gap to make up, but not anymore. Contact warning for kart 23.
That's John Nuttall.
So there's been a contact out of shot of the cameras. So you're saying you're driving these, Jake, so on a Rotax kart, for example, 2-stroke, you've got to feed the throttle in. I'm assuming these being 4 strokes, you just flat the throttle coming out the corner and the thing takes off with torque.
Absolutely, it really does, and the torque is fantastic. You get a real sense of power as you come through, but the kart is not too leery, it's not too sideways. You really can get quite a proactive response from the steering. It's why it's a really good kart as a user-friendly starting point for a lot of drivers, especially those that are coming out of the rental world. You see a lot of drivers like Mike Coppin, who have been very heavily involved in the endurance rental karting world. They've done D-Max, they've done Club 100, they've done all these fantastic starting points. This is really the next kick up, not just in terms of budget, but also in racing. Big opportunity from Roberts, he tries his best. Higginbotham again repeats the defensive move that we saw, but what a switcheroo from Roberts. Manages to nail it back to the inside apex through the toe of the boot, and now Mike Coppin has a perfect advert for what to do for these 2 drivers.
And that is a quality piece of driving there for Owen Roberts. Gets him on the switchback, going through the final turn. Higginbotham still looking for a way past, going wide. It looks like he may have lost a place. He has, may have lost 2. He does.
Yeah, he does. Drops all the way to 4th position. But you really get a sense of this fantastic proactive racing. Look at the battle further back. You've got Townsend, West, Fletcher and Kinloch all having a terrific battle in there as well. And this is fantastic for not just getting used to racing, but also improving your racecraft. Diving up the inside, that's Fletcher, I think, making the move there on Malk West. I think Kinloch's been able to repeat the move as well. But fantastic driving from them as they continue on the charge. And Richard Kinloch is actually now at the back of that queue, so they're still chopping and changing away. Back to the battle for the lead, and Coppin is into 2nd position as a result of that shuffle of the deck. Chris Alcock there in 3rd, Higginbotham in 4th. But Tillotson T4, honestly, such a great starting tool for racing. But you've also got this amazing duel over the course of the season. You have Tillotson T4 here in the UK. You also have it in various other countries as well. In the Netherlands, they're very strong. In France, in South Africa, it's a really growing country for racing.
25 countries around the world, Jake.
Absolutely.
You know, for a kart that's engine equipment that's manufactured in Ireland, To be in 25 countries around the world is a great effort by the guys, have to say.
And it all culminates in the Tillotson T4 World Finals at the end of the year. The last couple of years they've taken place in Spain, hoping they will again have a fantastic event. I very nearly represented Great Britain in the 2022 edition, would you believe? Didn't quite come off, and I'm still hoping that one day I'll get my chance again, but it's a fabulous, fabulous opportunity to watch these guys learn their craft wheel to wheel. Back to the front, Roberts versus Coppin. Now, I know Mike Coppin of old. He's going to absolutely charge his way in. He does indeed at Christmas, nails the moment and absolutely gets the way through. And it's a great battle going on in the junior class as well. Martin Wright hanging on to it, but Daniel Hartley is going to be pushing all the way, and Amelie Ackett's definitely working her craft. She's definitely improving all the time. Will Omar running in 4th position, trying to close up on them. But now that Mike Coppin has hit the front, is he going to be able to stretch away? As we watch the duel further back, that's Brandon Edwards and Harry Ward having their own little battle, and here come the seniors trying to take them on, and you've got to be so careful where you pitch yourself in with the traffic. You can lose it all just by not quite reading the situation of the slower carts in front right. And Harry Ward is going to be the first one on the scene. Mike Coppin, Roberts, Alcock, Higginbotham, and I have to say, judged on their one-lap pace, all 4 of them have a race-winning bit of equipment underneath their right foot.
Yeah, it's close at the front. Nothing to choose between them. They went through the line. 0.753 separated the front 4. This is absolutely top quality racing, and it's great to be in a competitive race at any point in time. You know, wherever you are, whether you're battling for the lead or you're battling for maybe in a group of 10, 11, 12, 13, as long as you're having your own little battle on the track. Here's another one as they come towards the juniors. This is a battle for the lead, of course, and it is Coppin. Will he get caught out by the leaders, by the backmarkers rather? Backmarkers here, of course, are the juniors, so their engine's not quite as quick. They're getting blue flags. Coppin up the inside, he's going to take advantage.
Coppin's got to be careful he doesn't bang wheels with Harry Ward. He's absolutely going to lose momentum. Here comes Roberts, going to get up alongside him. That will be enough. He'll have the inside line into Christmas, surely. Coppin is now going to get boxed in, and so too is the leader behind Brandon Edwards. So it's stalemate between them, but Coppin loses the lead for the moment. Can he get back into Ashby? He has to follow in pursuit of Owen Roberts. So Roberts is the leader again. Alcock through to 3rd position. Higginbotham manages to slot in behind, so they just about get away with that, but certainly Mike Coppin has lost the lead, and now Higginbotham trying to go wheel to wheel with Alcock, has to bail out of the move again. But honestly, fantastic racing from Tillotson T4. I would not expect anything less from this class. Teaches you everything you need to know about discipline, about control, about patience, about racecraft. Such a great category. Now here come Kinloch and Nuttall in front of the number 2, continuing the battle as they work their way through. Still the drivers, so not all with the transponders on.
Yeah, so we've got cart numbers 2, 3 and 4, and they're not in the timing. We don't know what's going on there.
They're having fun, that's the main thing. They're really pushing themselves. They're having some great battles out there, and that's one of the things I will say about my time in the championship last year in April. Didn't finish a single race higher than last position, and I'll happily put my hand up and admit that. I was in last in every single race. I only got lapped in the final, but you know what? Every single race was fantastic. And while I will say that I was last in every race, my first laps were absolutely amazing. I managed to overtake a couple of people on the first couple of laps. Okay, my bulk and latent talent definitely meant that I was overtaken.
It is true though, isn't it? Whenever you start a race, well, we've got the back marker in the way, the 74.
And that's going to be Coppin going through. They made contact. How did Roberts not spin the cart around? Now they're side by side again, and it's a drag race to the apex for Christmas Corner. Higginbotham having moved into 3rd place behind Alcock. Coppin going right the long way round, holds on to the lead on Owen Roberts. Absolutely brilliant. They're still dueling. Now Higginbotham fancies his chances. Through they come again, out of Ashby, up towards Wilkins, through to the left-hander. Roberts trying his best on Coppin. Can he get through? Coppin is going to hold it in cover into Osiers. I'm surprised Roberts didn't go for it there. Coppin is going to hold this. Higginbotham's going to come off the turn, and now he's going to try and make his move for second into the boot. He's going to take on both of them, and Coppin is furious. Coppin is pitched into a spin as Higginbotham takes the lead, but Roberts is going to get him back through the toe of the boot. Roberts will take the victory. Owen Roberts steals it from Higginbotham and Alcock, and Mike Coppin is absolutely fuming.
Oh, we'll have a look at the replays. Higginbotham down the inside. He's going for it. He is going for it, but he never really gets there, let's be honest. Now, it'll be interesting to see what the officials make of that.
He even put his hand in the air. He was going for second, not first, and he drifted into the side of Coppin. He said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to take you out."
And here comes Owen Roberts to take the win down the inside. Last lap drama in the Tillotson T4 senior class. And that's the winner in the juniors, that's Martin Wright. Wow, what a race that was, incredible.
Big drama right to the end as Owen Roberts takes the victory from Ben Higginbotham and Chris Alcott. Owen Spears coming through for fourth in front of Alistair Tinker and Jason Bradbury. Santiago Ortega Bruce in front of Oliver Greening, and then James Townsend and Zach Fletcher in the top 10. Very exciting stuff in Tillotson T4 all the way. You've got to feel for Mike Coppin, who will feel very unjustly robbed and denied of a victory after such drama. In the juniors, just as exciting. Martin Wright able to hold on just by a second to Dan Hartley. Good work from Amelie Ackerts. She takes a very valid podium position. Will Omar in fourth in front of Matthew Stevens, Brandon Edwards and Harry Ward. Sadly, we didn't get Thomas Harper coming to the finish after his technical flag earlier on. Great racing from Tillotson T4 Senior and Junior, but we're not done yet at Whilton Mill. There's plenty of action still to come. So we go from the Tillotson T4 that I have driven to the Pro Kart UK that they keep trying to get me out in. Maybe one day. Jessica Alexander leading from Aaron Alexander on the grid. Charlie Bingham and Henry Trina, then Sam Spinell and Jake Richardson. John Hogan, Alex Bomberg, Craig Day and Kieran Lambert in one of the most competitive grids you're ever going to see in British karting. Never mind this weekend. 29 drivers battling their way through this weekend. Sixth row of the grid, we're going to see a very close encounter between Josh Mercer and Luke Tomlinson, then Aaron Lord and Mick Lord, Alan Lowes and John Tabezic, then Ben Clark, Michael Kimber, Men Morley and Carl Ruddock are going to be there in the field. Plenty of overtaking to be expected, not just at the front, but also in the midfield. With this very exciting Pro Kart field, you're going to see plenty of overtakes as drivers try and make their way back up the order as well. Jack Hewland and Jay Fletcher in the 11th row of the grid, then Isaac Needham and Ryan Skerry, Steve Nichols, Dominic Needham, Tom Hewland, Joseph Hadley. At the back of the field in the number 14, it'll be Mark Hilditch. You'll be hoping that P29 is not where he finishes.
Yeah, this is the grid of, I think it's Pro Kart Pro and Pro Kart Clubman, but I don't think the timing differentiates. Timing we can see will be able to tell us. I think it's Jai Fletcher who's the leading Clubman driver further back in the field, starting P20, I think.
Here we go, let's race, and straight away Jessica Alexander hits the front. A brilliant run, but it's already going to be a tough one as Alexander is going to get up the inside. That's Aaron Alexander making the bid, and I don't think he's the only one that made it. Charlie Bingham trying to come straight through to the lead of the race, and Bingham has done so, so Bingham leads. Aaron Alexander is next up. Then it's Jessica Alexander. A couple of drivers flirting with the grass on the way through to Inkermans. But as they go through Ashby, it is getting pretty spicy in the midfield. A couple of drivers towards the back trying to get back into it. There goes Jessica Alexander on the inside of Henry Treneur. A brilliant opportunity there to move through into third position as the field skates their way through Wilkins and Oziers. And then on to the back straight up to the boot. Number 7, Aaron Alexander, having worked his way into second position, still trying to make the bid. But it's looking good for Charlie Bingham. This Pro Kart UK class, really exciting to watch as Jessica Alexander just goes a little bit wide there out of the final turn. And a couple of drivers getting very close to it. Oh, contact, 3 cuts in the wall. Dominic Needham and Ben Morby tagging together, and poor Joe Hadley having to take avoiding action and going in as well. So that's all getting a little bit messy. Charlie Bingham versus Aaron Alexander has definitely upped in tempo as Jessica Alexander holds third position for the moment in front of Trenor. Spinell, Lambert, is this going to be the move finished up for Aaron Alexander? It is, and Aaron Alexander hits the front as they go towards Wilkins and Oziers, but runs wide. Here's the opportunity again for Charlie Bingham, switching positions. Lightning reflexes from both drivers, and watch out, here comes Jessica Alexander, and do not have any doubts about this. Jessica Alexander will be pushing tooth and nail to get through. Absolutely fearless racer. Jessica Alexander will be wanting to hit the front sooner rather than later.
If you go back half a lap as he came through Christmas Corner, the 2 leaders were well clear, weren't they? But now it's a 3-way battle, and 4th, 5th and 6th not that far behind. Up the inside is the 7. That's Aaron Alexander through to the lead, and Jessica goes with him. Not related, by the way.
No, indeed, they just happen to have the same surname. Jessica Alexander to the lead in just 3 corners. Now they're going to run wheels. A very close run thing there. They just about managed to escape drama. But Jessica Alexander drifts wide. Aaron will get the move on the inside line. Jessica Alexander goes wide. Charlie Bingham to the inside line. Now you've got Trenor, Spinell and Lambert all trying to coax through on the inside. Kieran Lambert going for broke on the inside line. Gets a wheel on the curb. Pirouettes around. And Kieran Lambert's just got to hope that everybody's going to avoid him. Fortunately, they have.
Only just. He had to sit there and let cart after cart go past. He can't turn into the carts. Got to let them go. And he drops down the field.
Well, Aaron Alexander hits the front once more. Charlie Bingham second, then Jessica Alexander, Trenor, Spinell, Jake Richardson from John Hogan, then Tomlinson, Bomberg, Day, Mercer, Lord, Lowe's, Ben Clark and John Bezic. This will be a very interesting comeback drive from Charlie Bingham now, having split the Alexanders. Again, no relation, very different drivers. Aaron Alexander in the black and white machine. Jessica Alexander, easily the best transgender kart racer in the country, and certainly one of the most sensational drivers you're ever going to go wheel to wheel with in Pro Kart UK. She was an absolutely fantastic contender in every endurance race I've ever seen her do battle in, and what a fantastic performer. I seem to recall some amazing performances in the British 24 Hours on more than one occasion at Teesside. Jessica Alexander actually sets the fastest lap of the race at 51.39, pushing hard to try and coax Aaron Alexander and Charlie Bingham into another inevitable error. Everybody's making them because the racing is so intense.
It's a great class there, so we'll be covering all of the rounds of the British Pro Kart Championship later in the season within the UK Kart Series. I think that is, what is it, June, July, August, September, I think that is. We're bringing you all 4 rounds of the British Pro Kart Championship later in the year, and there's 29 in this field. How many is there going to be in that field?
I'm really looking forward to Pro Kart UK. Everything I have heard about it has just been positive after positive after positive, and it's going to be really exciting to see how that battle plays out. Here comes Jessica Alexander again, looking for the bid on Charlie Bingham to try and move forward into second position, just running the gauntlet through Crook and Oblivion, up Fine Lady, along Manuel's Bank.
Fastest lap for Jessica Alexander on that last tour. In fact, the last 2 laps she set the fastest lap, but third place on track at the moment, so hasn't got track position, but fastest driver on track. The leading Clubman driver, by the way, Jai Fletcher, down in 17th. We haven't seen much of them. We've got to concentrate on this battle for the overall lead, and it is Aaron Alexander from Charlie Bingham. Jessica Alexander, first 3, and in 4th place there, trying to make up the gap, is Henry Trina.
Great to see we have got some very intense battles down the field. Jonty Bezic in front of Lord, Clark, Fletcher and Needham, so the leading clubman is in the middle of that gaggle of cars. Kieran Lambert has actually recovered in that and finds himself 19th behind Fletcher and Needham, the 2 leading clubman drivers. So there's plenty of action everywhere you look around the course here at Whilton Mill.
Another fastest lap this time by Charlie Bingham on that tour. Just .190 behind the leaders as they went through the line.
Alexander having to defend on the way to Christmas, clearly feels that both these drivers are going to be on him like lead bricks. Bingham will try for the lead. Alexander having to go right across the track to stop the onslaught. They come through to Ashby. Watch Jessica Alexander. The door has opened up for second position. She goes for it, and on the curb, and look at the sparks coming off from Charlie Bingham's machine. It's like something out of Mansell versus Senna in the 80s. Absolutely terrific as Jessica Alexander finds the car into second position, pushes the limit and manages to get through. Little bit of momentum lost trying to get that move done. As a result, Henry Trenor shows up on the scene.
I have to say, this is one of my favourite karting classes in the whole of karting. It's well, it's a class that doesn't get anywhere near enough coverage, but as I say, this year, later in the year, we're going to be bringing you the 4 British Pro Kart rounds.
It's pure, isn't it? It's raw. It's almost like boxing on wheels. It's so fantastic to watch. Jessica Alexander power sliding on the way to the braking zone at Ashby, trying to get the car turned in. Up towards Wilkins, through the left, dash of curb, in and out. Then up through Osiers again, just trying to find a little bit of extra momentum on Aaron Alexander, our race leader. But Jessica Alexander is taking the momentum of Charlie Bingham with her as they work their way through. Down to the boot, again onto the toe. And Alexander desperately trying to hold the middle of the road, but it's so difficult when you're mid-apex, trying to kiss the curb on the inside line and hold the radius. Through Crook, through Oblivion, back on the power, along Manuel's bank, across Fine Lady, and up towards Christmas. And look, Aaron Alexander's almost looking back as much as he is forwards. That's enough of an invitation. They bang wheels. Jessica Alexander's through. Watch for Bingham on the right side. Bingham's going to run out of road. No, he's not. He's going to edge the cart in and force the issue.
Here's the replay. This is brilliant. Look at that. You've got to take advantage. One chance, you've got to go for it. And Jessica Alexander, Aaron Alexander tries to squeeze, moves across the track, right and then left,
and Bingham,
up the inside she goes.
Bingham and Aaron Alexander going for the lead side by side as Trenor ends up going off the road. Jessica Alexander splits Aaron and Charlie Bingham. Absolutely terrific. Back into second place once more. And now we've got Trenor, Spinell and Jake Richardson having their own private battle in behind the top three. They're swarming around. So this is getting very close quarters racing as they continue on the way up the climb. So up towards it again, and look how tight-knit Aaron Alexander is. Holding on in front of Jessica, who still fancies the chance to get through into the lead of the race. Up towards Ashby again. Aaron Alexander pulls across the line. Charlie Bingham round the outside, managing to get into second briefly. Back down to third. This is terrific stuff. A proper nail-biter in Pro Kart UK. Charlie Bingham's going to try and make the bid on the inside of Aaron Alexander. Can't get the switch back. So now Jessica Alexander in third is going to have to try and make her bid. Meanwhile, it is an absolute squabble just behind them. Any one of those drivers could take full advantage of this trio, having an absolute dance with death through the inside of each apex. Through comes Sam Spinell to move up into fourth position. Very good conviction there. Trenor down to fifth, then Richardson, Hogan, Tomlinson, all snapping at each other's heels.
John Hogan, we know from the Super 1 British Karting Championship some years ago, Jake. He was in the TKM Extreme class. He's switched here to the Pro Kart, and he's going to be a player later in the year for the British Championships, as are all these three out front.
We are running out of time. The opportunity to try and make these overtaking moves is definitely dissipating. Alexander, Bingham, then Alexander again. It's Jessica. Oh, Charlie Bingham's run off wide. Charlie Bingham completely dropping the cart on the way out of Ozier's, and that's going to be all the way down to the back of the train. So Aaron Alexander has license now to run to the flag in front of Jessica Alexander. There is the checkered flag. Aaron Alexander wins. Jessica Alexander in second from Sam Spinell. What an absolutely sensational finish. Just as we saw Mike Coppin going off the road in Tillotson T4, we see the same thing for Charlie Bingham, who crosses the line a very disgruntled 8th position. Not the way he wanted to end it, but what a duel right to the wire. Aaron Alexander takes the win in front of Jessica Alexander and Sam Spinell. Henry Trenor, then Jake Richardson from John Hogan. Luke Tomlinson in 7th place. Charlie Bingham has to be content with 8th position, though of course he will not be. Craig Day in 9th position, Alex Bomberg in P10. A very competitive category in Pro Kart UK all the way. And just check out the distance from 1st to 10th. Less than 7 seconds covers the battle in the final. That shows you just how ultra competitive it is in Pro Kart UK. We love it. And so to the last race of the day here at Whilton Mill. It's the final for Honda R200 and Tyrone Mini. Ayrton Ray and Lewis Dean will be on the front row of the grid in Honda R200, Austin Mayhew and Dylan Suresh. Then Fredrik Gervasi, Rebecca Restel, Thomas Stevens and Thomas Harper. A very competitive grid. In Tyrone Mini, it's going to be a pole position for Jacob Aston, ahead of Sam Skellett and Max Flatley, then Mattis Minikas, Jack Griggs, Hayden Burling, Liam Stimson and Chris Mayo. You'll see two fantastic races in one go here, and we'll try and cover the action in both battles equally. But who's going to get the run? Will it be Ayrton Ray or will it be Lewis Dean? Time to find out, and it's going to be a very tough run from further back.
Dean's got the lead.
He has indeed.
Dean squeezed through to take the lead.
Was that Restel coming through into second place? What a start from Rebecca Restel.
Yeah, it is, and she's still there in second, but not for long. Up the inside is it looks like the 18. It is the 18. That's Ayrton Wright, winner in the earlier heat. We saw heat 3. It's our first race in this programme. Now, I can tell you, just look, you probably can't tell looking at these pictures, but it is getting dark. The cameras are adjusting to make it look a lot brighter than it is, but I can tell you the sun is so low in the horizon, it's about to dip down behind the horizon. You can just see it there, creating the lens flares on the drone. But we are close to the end of the day.
This is getting very tricky now for a few of the drivers. They're going to find it very awkward to hold on to. Jacob Aston, though, leading in the Tyro Minis and starting to get well clear, hoping to continue this charge forward. Matas Minikis, by the way, still going for third position at the very minimum. Lewis Dean, the young man from Worksop, leading in the battle, but how much longer? Here comes Ayrton Ray, and just a fantastic run through. So Ayrton Ray manages to get through into the lead of the race. Rebecca Restel is not far away to snap at the heels for second if she gets a window of opportunity.
Now Dylan Suresh, you may remember in the first race in the programme, Heat 3 effectively for this class, Dylan Suresh spun out at the start, so we never got to see how quick he actually was in that heat, but we're about to see how quick he is in this. He's in 4th place currently, close enough if good enough, and we think he is.
Mayhew is still there in P5 for the moment in front of Ferenc Avesi. Look at the slide from Lewis Dean as he tries again to get back on terms with Ayrton Ray. So Dean, Ray, Restel, Suresh, Mayhew and Ferenc Avesi. Now there is the fastest lap of the race from Ayrton Ray. He's done a 53.6, very quick lap indeed. Jacob Aston, still your leader in the Tyro Minis, and there is the details of Dylan Suresh, who's worked his way forward now past Rebecca Restel, so has got through into 3rd position. Very good work indeed from those two. So up to the hairpin. Is this going to be a move from Austin Mayhew? It is indeed. So Mayhew gets into 4th position then, past Rebecca Restel. But Restel is still working very hard here, having made a fantastic start to charge her way through to P2. You can't really knock her for reaction time. She was the quickest out of the draw. Certainly managed to gain a lot of momentum, but Ayrton Ray still leading in front of Dean, Suresh, Mayhew, Restel and Ferenc Avesi. And there's a technical flag come up for the 34, that's Chris Mayo. So Mayo, who we saw spun out in Heat 3 earlier on, looks like there's some problems with the kart now. Yeah,
bit of a disaster for Chris Mayo today. He's looks like he's going to have to come into the pits and deal with whatever the problem is, and that's his day pretty much over. Not the best day for Chris Mayo, but he'll come again.
Yeah, we should reiterate the technical flag does not mean you're out of the race. It means you've got to come in and fix what the problem is. Now, Ferenc Avesi is trying to get wheel to wheel there with Rebecca Restel, and on the exit of Christmas has been able to tidy up that move. So that is Ferenc Avesi into 5th place then, past Rebecca Restel for the moment. And Ayrton Ray, there's a little bit of space between himself and Lewis Dean. Dylan Suresh up to 3rd, ahead of Austin Mayhew. But is there any more left in the tank for Dylan Suresh? There's got to be a little bit more to come from him if he wants to go for the victory. There's still a little bit of time to make up the ground. But Dylan Suresh is not going to be pulling away from Austin Mayhew very easily, is he? Mayhew is definitely giving him a good run for his money here as Ayrton Ray continues to get that fastest lap down. It's now to a 52.6, a good 0.4 of a second quicker on the last lap than Lewis Dean, as these guys have already started to go through the traffic of the Tyro Minis.
Yeah, and we just made out Thomas Stevens there. He's obviously very new to the class. He's been towards the back of the field all day. But these classes tend to contain drivers with experience and drivers like Thomas who have very little experience.
What a switcheroo that was from Austin Mayhew. He dived in, went slow in, fast out, and has now managed to pick up the 3rd place on Dylan Suresh. Nice bit of overtaking on the exit of Ashby. Absolutely hoodwinked Dylan on that particular occasion. Ferenc Avesi, just down the road from here in Milton Keynes, the home of the Red Bull Formula 1 team, of course. Ferenc Avesi now sizes up the chance to go for Dylan Suresh, who is back down to 4th position again behind Austin Mayhew. So still they battle away, and Rebecca Restel is not out of the woods yet. Still has every opportunity to work her way for 3rd position. These 4 karts, there is a little bit of daylight between the two of them, but in Honda R200, just one little error in judgment, and those 4 or 5 kart lengths will suddenly wipe out.
Yeah, to right out front from Lewis Dean. Just slightly less than a second as they went through the line at the end of the last tour, and then 4.4 seconds off the lead is Austin Mayhew here in 3rd place. 3rd, 4th and 5th I think is what we're looking at.
So in the Tyro Minis, we haven't been able to keep very close tabs on them, but Jacob Aston is your leader at the moment from Sam Skellett, and then we've got Flatley, Burling and Minikas still having a great duel for that 3rd position. There is the R200 leader, that's Ayrton Ray, who has managed to pull about 0.9 of a second on the previous lap from Lewis Dean. He's almost doubled the lead in 1 lap. That is the confidence drive Ayrton Rai is currently on.
Well, I tell you what, he's going to have to contend with some rain, Jake, because I can tell you, it looks to me like there's a little bit of moisture and it's going to turn into drizzle. This could be very interesting. This is a battle for third in the Honda R200 class, and don't forget the man out front, Ayrton Rai, if it does start raining, he'll get to the turns first, so from 1 lap to the next there'll be less grip and he'll find out how much less first before anybody else.
Yeah, look how quickly it's got dark in the last lap and a half or so. The rain clouds have suddenly filtered in over Whilton Mill.
It's raining.
It is raining. It is raining. So this is a very tricky situation now. Don't forget, all of the race drivers are on slick tyres, and this isn't like Formula One. You can't just come into the pits mid-race and change. You've got to cope. The back end of the kart sliding out as Dylan Suresh will just manage to move ahead of Austin Mayhew on momentum. It's one of the advantages of being second or third in the queue, because then you can see what the guy in front does and respond accordingly.
Yeah, the sun is just about below the horizon. The cameras...
Oh, Avesi trying to dive in. Sorry to cut you off, but Avesi thought he saw a gap there on Mayhew.
Yeah, the camera's making it look brighter than it actually is. It's almost dark, and it is definitely raining now, heavier than it was before. Ayrton Rai is going to get to the corners first, and we'll see what he makes of the track when it gets wetter and wetter. They're all on slicks.
Oh, this is madness.
So this could be crazy. We've seen crazy finishes here at Whilton Mill when it started raining before. Remember in UKC a couple of seasons ago, great Jake.
Yes, indeed. That was a bit of a nail-biter. Well, we've only got 52 seconds on the clock, so fortunately it doesn't look like it's going to continue. Well, the rain has definitely got heavier now, and it's right over the main body of the circuit. So this is where things are going to get tricky. We've only got a minute left on the clock. So this now all comes down to the drivers just taking it carefully. Yes, you're racing, we get that, but you've also got to keep your wits about you here. One mistake and it all falls apart.
He's had a look there to see how much of a lead he's got. He knows he's got a big lead. He's coming down. This is a tricky spot in the corner.
Oh, look at it. You can see it for yourself
now.
He's
gone straight on.
He's gone straight on there. Out to Oziers. Can he catch it? What a save that is from Ayrton Rai. Unfortunately for him, Lewis Dean's had a similar moment. There goes Hayden Burling at recovering. And look, they're wiping their visors. This is going to get pretty treacherous.
Red flag.
Red flags, red flags. Yep, that was absolutely the right call. We've seen this time and time again. The let's see what happens attitude has no place in modern motorsport. Thank goodness that the officials there have taken the right decision. This could have got very messy indeed. Well done to everybody concerned.
Yeah, so Ayrton Rai is going to take the win. Dylan Suresh, it'll go back a lap, but Dylan Suresh was in third place when he went across the line, Jake.
Yes, he was. So Ayrton Rai is your winner from Lewis Dean. Dylan Suresh is a very fortunate man. He gets third position there in front of Austin Mayhew. Then Ferenc Avesi, who crossed the line ahead of Rebecca Restel. Full credit to her. Good try and certainly a fantastic start. Thomas Stevens, P7. Non-start on this occasion for Thomas Harper. Hopefully we'll see him in the main body of the season. But how close was that? The rain coming down very dramatically. Fortunately, we got away with that one. Jacob Aston sealing the win in front of Sam Skellett in Tyrone Mini, and Max Flatley in third position in front of Hayden Burling. Then Mattis Minikas ahead of Jack Griggs, with Kian Stinson in front of Chris Mayo. Great battles in both categories. Unfortunate that the race had to be cut short due to the rain, but I tell you what, it was the right decision and the right call. It was too heavy, too intense, and fortunately, all of the drivers get to go home having learnt, but also safely.
Well, that's all we've got time for here at Whilton Mill, but join us later in the season for more karting and the Mini Bike Junior World Series.